these. Well, first part of the lesson is going to be about the uke setup, and then we're going to spend some time practicing the different strokes. And today we've got some really good players who've come along. Tony Lister and Tony Thornton, really good players, and Peter Pollard and Jim. So I might be asking them to demonstrate some of the split strokes and things. My name is Andrew Poppleton. I'm Vice President, and I've been doing the beginners class for quite a few years. And again, I think this would be the 8th and 9th, it must be, class I've done online. So without further ado, we'll start now. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you the first sort of uke that I bought when I tried to start playing Formby. And it's a wooden uke like this, okay, and it's got a fixed, we've got a nut and a fixed bridge and saddle. Well, we've got quite a few more people joining, okay, and you can play all sorts of things, including George Formby. And when I started, that's the one name that sprung to mind. The only person I know who played ukulele was George Formby, so I bought a book and I started looking at chords. And these instruments, don't be put off if you go to Blackpool or branch meeting and you've only got a wooden uke. They're great to learn on and they're great sounds. Okay, you don't always need a banjo uke to play George Formby. So you can see here the main difference between this and the banjo uke. Okay, could you just mute yourself, please, James, for 2 minutes. You turn your camera on because we might be beneficial when doing the actual practice. Okay, hi James, thank you. So basically, we've got a fixed bridge, okay, and the saddle, that's the white bit there, okay, and that's glued onto the body of the wooden uke, okay, and basically we've still got the fretboards, the nut, the tuning pegs, so it's just the same, it's just the body is different on the banjo uke. Oops. So we've got two main types of banjo ukuleles. We've got the, what I call it, the resonator uke, the round back ukulele with resonate, might not even have a resonator, okay? And then we've got the, where is it? This type, which has got a resonator, okay? Okay, to really amplify the sound. But there's some certain things you need to remember when you get a ukulele banjo, and it's a setup, because if you get a uke banjo and it's not set up right, it can sound really dull, and it can put a lot of people off from playing and practicing, because we all want to sound, have an instrument that sounds brilliant and plays well. So it's really important that we set it up as best we can. Okay, so on this ukulele, I can take the resonator off. And on this uke, you can see it's got these hooks all the way around. We've got the vellum, we've got the nut here, which is that bit there. We've got machine heads or tuning pegs, okay? And we've then got a floating bridge, and this means it's not stuck down to the vellum, although I've seen some ukes which the bridges are stuck down, okay? So this is a Slingerland, okay, and it's, just hold on, oh wait, we've got another person joining. Where is she? Oh, she's here. So this is Slingerland uke, and we've got some hooks. So one thing we need to make sure is our vellum is nice and tight. Now this is really crucial. I have done this even now. Hi Suzanne. Even now, I've actually over-tightened the vellum, and it's got hot in the outside, or the radiators, and the vellum snapped. Yeah, it's cracked. And the only thing you can do is replace it with new vellum. And they're available at the shop for £22 on GFS website. Okay. And I will have to say this, I've seen other people selling vellums, but the vellums at the GFS are the top quality ones. Okay, so how we tighten it to make it nice and bright. Okay, I could actually get a span to show you, but this one's a bit dull, because if you look down here, and I'll try and demonstrate it, see if I can push down on the vellum, and you can see it's not tight. Yeah, you can see the movement in the vellum. I'm trying my best to show that. Okay, you can just see it. Okay, and that means I can do the pencil test. We need, that's it. We need an official school pencil, yellow and black one, you see. Have you got any of those, Tony? Tony Thornton? An official school pencil. Okay, and we're just going to tap it. Okay, and then hopefully we'll try the same test on this one. You should hear a difference. Much brighter, okay? So we know we need to tighten the vellum up. So look on this one again. What we need to do is get our spanner or wrench and tighten it by a quarter of a turn only. And we'll do this, and I'll demonstrate it on this side. We start on here, a quarter of a turn, and we'll go to the opposite corner, quarter of a turn, go back onto that one, a quarter of a turn. So it's doing opposites, quarter of a turn, that one, and work our way around. I would be honest, when I've done it once, all the way around a quarter of a turn, I'd leave it, okay? Leave it for a day, 2 days, and come back and tighten up gradually. If you over tighten it, you will probably wake up the following day, open your U case, and your vellum's bust, okay? And after, the £22, they are, it's an expensive commodity if you keep over tightening your vellum, okay? So it will take you time to get to the really bright sound you want from the ukulele banjo, okay? Any questions so far? Okay, thank you. So when we get to the vellum, it's nice and tight, okay? We need to think about where we're going to position this bridge, because it's a floating bridge, okay? So the distance from the nut to the 12th fret, okay? That distance to 12th fret is equal to the distance from 12th fret to the position of the bridge, okay? Now on this one, you can see I've put some pencil marks on, okay? So it reminds me of that, that's where the correct position should be, okay? Now this will determine that it stays accurately in tune, because lots of ukes are different tunings. C or D are the most common, but I know people have a E uke tuned, and I spoke to a guy in Crofton only this week, and he's got a high F tuning, some of his ukes, and it doesn't matter what tuning you've got, as long as it's in tune for the instrument, okay? And of course, you all need a tuner for accurate tuning, which is available. They're available at the shop. I think they're about £7. Okay, so we found the position of the bridge, okay, and then it's your playing. As a player, you can decide what action, which is the height. I can see here, this is a pretty high bridge on this one, and I'm looking about 5 mil height from the strings in the sweet spot where I'm going to play. And the sweet spot on the uke banjo is just about here, okay, so that's your decision. Some players want a really low height because it's easy to play. Some players like a higher height bridge, a higher action, because it's more louder, okay? It's your choice. Now these bridges, this one here I bought from a guy in Rotherham, Eddie Utley, but I know the GFS shop, they have many bridges, and they'll sell you one like this, which you can then sand down to the right height. Some bridges are ebony tipped, some bridges have 3 legs, okay? So it's your choice, because the bridge will make a difference to how the uke sounds when you're playing it. Okay, has anyone got any questions so far about bridges? Tony, Lister, you're an experienced player. What sort of bridges have you got in your instruments?
Well, that's the one on my, it's a small one. It's about just less than, I think it's just less than half an inch, that, but it's a nice low action with it. And yeah, most of mine are like that.
Yeah.
What sort of is?
I think it's a personal preference and how the instrument sounds, because I've only got about 4 or 5 ukulele banjos. Okay, we have.
Tell us another one.
Yeah, it's true. Tony, Lister, Patricia, we're going to go talk about strings in a few minutes. Okay, just hold your horses, because our last point is each instrument sounds better on a particular bridge. Some instruments sound really good on three leggers, some are really low bridges. So it's your decision to what bridge you want to have a go at. And here I have got a collection of bridges, my bridge bag. And when I get an instrument, I go through each bridge. I do the Cassie test. My girlfriend sits in the opposite room. I play the instrument. This is instrument number 1 with a bridge on, then I change it. This is number 2. So basically, I find out what sounds the best. Now, the other thing which we can choose, and Patricia mentioned it, about strings. And again, this is your own preference. On wooden ukes, a lot of people have gone for the Aquila Nile strings, which are great. On banjo ukes, it's open to your own preference. I've got some examples here. George Foreman Society strings. Okay, I bought a massive pack of these. Okay, and these are available at the shop. My personal favourites are Galley strings.
Yeah, mine.
Okay, available at the shop. I think they're about £4. I'm not sure how much they are now, £4 or £5. And most of my instruments have either got those, but again, I've started using these piccato strings. There's a whole range of strings available. I know some people have fishing line on, so it's your preference. And some of you sound better with one type of string or the other type, whatever type of string you want creates a slightly different sound.
Yeah.
So again, that is up to you what your instrument, what you want to sound your instrument, how it sounds and plays. Okay, does anyone got any questions so far about strings and actually things we've covered? Okay.
No. Andrew, just to mention on the strings, I've got a Gibson UB3 copy, and I've always had galley strings on that, and people have said, "Blimey, that sounds bright." And really, I mean, I just put them on by chance because you find galley strings. A lot of people seem to use them on the wooden ukes, mostly. Yeah. And I've got these galley strings on that UB3, and it's like you say, it's what suits the uke, and it really does sound. I've never really changed it to people. Oh, what strings have you got on that? And obviously, it's how you play it as well. Yeah. But it's certain strings just suit.
Yes, they do.
Yeah,
uke,
they do.
And that's the thing about it.
Yeah, I've got a ukulele, wooden ukulele, which I'm very disappointed in the tone, and I decided to change the strings, and I put some fluorocarbon strings on. I don't really think it's made an awful lot of difference. They're very hard. I think I might put some galleys on because on this one there's fishing line on it because Eddie put those on for me. But on all my others, I've got galleys on.
Well, they seem a bit soft. They're not softer to play. If you are, when you do come to the split stroke, it just seems easy to glide with. I don't know whether it's just me, but they just seem easier. So they probably are a good starter for some people.
Okay, it really is down to the instrument, your own preference. I mean, I've got, like I said, I've got 4 or 5 ukes, and they're all got different strings on, Tony. Some ukes sound really good on galleys.
It doesn't suit everyone, but certain ones, I think they're worth a try. If you think, it's dull, your sound, give a galley string a try.
Absolutely.
Some people rave about Aquilas, but I don't like them at all.
No. Okay. Right, guys, thank you. And what we're going to do now, I'm going to just quickly remind you, when we're learning a song with split stroke, for example, it's really important that you have a vehicle to put that split stroke in. Okay, so it's vitally important that you learn a song. You want to write that down, Peter Paul. You need to learn a song, okay, all the way through. So you need to find a song and learn it, so you know the chords, you know the pace, you need to know the rhythm of that song right away, because when you learn all the strokes, the next challenge would be to put them into a song. And if you've got that already, you can use the song as a vehicle to play and practice, just playing for time and then developing your strokes. Okay, and I know Tony Lister will tell you now, if you ask him, when I first started, when I used to go to Casford, I used to play Windows. When I'm cleaning Windows every month, and sometimes I played it twice in one night, just to practice and get used to playing in front of an audience. And that is what you've got to do. You've got to choose a song. So to do that, I would advocate and show people for these, the GFS songbook, okay? And if you've not got that, I would really say you need to buy it because it's got the right tabs on. Yeah, well done, James. Right tabs, fits all the songs, the backing which are available in the shop and things, and that'll make a big difference to your playing. I want to talk about backing. Again, some people say, "Oh, we just don't need it." You don't really need it, but again, the backing will support you when you start putting the strokes together. Okay, so again, a tuner, strings, bridges, songbook, all helps. The one thing when I remember when I first started playing, I met a guy called Lionel Owen, who'd been playing, well, all his life nearly. And he told me that all Formby songs are played in 4/time. Okay, now I've come from a background from playing guitar. So when I start playing, I try to play the rhythm as I would do on the guitar. And Lionel said, "You're doing it all wrong, Young'un." Because he always, even though I was 30, he always called me Young'un because I was like one of the youngest people. And he kept on saying, "You're playing it wrong, you need to play it 4/time." So I'm going to play Windows just in 4/time. Okay, I'm just trying to lower that. And it is just, what I want to ask you to look at is how I'm playing this, okay? Okay, so all played in 4/time, it's all down strokes. Did anyone notice how which finger am I playing using to strum the strings? Yeah, that's it, Suzanne, my thumb, my pad of my thumb. Because when Formby used to play and he was singing, you want the uke to be quiet, okay? So don't try and play hard. So when you're doing the Windows, hey guys, yeah, just mute all this music. Just mute yourself, please, guys. Okay, so it is. Sorry, someone else joining. It's just nice and steady, 4/time, nice downward strokes. That's all. So what I would like you to do, our first little bit of practicing. If you listen to me for 16 minutes, it's your turn. Pick a uke, so keep your microphones muted and just play that nice. Hello, Bernie. Nice and steady, 4/time window cleaner, Bernie. Okay, and make sure it doesn't matter if your uke's in C or D, as long as it's tuned accurately to whatever it is. Okay, and we'll have a special. I'm going to observe Tony Thornton to make sure he's doing it right. Okay, just have a go at 4/time. 1, 2, 3. Just. Okay, so we've got 4/time and we know a song because, as I say, we need this vehicle to help us. But it's nice to see you. So it's just 4/time. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to change my playing style to start practicing the split stroke. Okay, I'm going to first of all not use my pad of my finger. I'm going to use like what I'll call a plectrum grip. So my thumb is going to support my index finger. Okay. And I'm going to do Windows as a solo. I'm going to do it at normal speed, then I'm going to try and slow it down as far as I can to the slowest I can, okay? So, just hold on. Just admitting somebody else. Okay, so this is the Windows. Okay. Okay, believe me when I say it's harder to play it slower than it is fast. So this is what we're trying to aim for, and it is. Thank you, Peter. It is. It is structured. It's easy to break it down, but you do need to really just try and focus because it is difficult. And I've seen people try and race through doing a split stroke and they'll miss some of the strokes. And it's really vital that we have specific strokes in the right place. I've always been told it's like a train, okay? And if you listen, you can hear that train. Okay, and that's what we're thinking about. But I would say now to everybody here, I think it's really important. I've seen DVDs and YouTube videos by some really good players, Mike Warren, Peter Nixon, just name two, and they, teach it in their way. You can go to the shop, you can buy Jack Jones DVD and Jerry Morse's DVD on tuition, and they play it in a certain way. And I watched Jerry's version on CD-ROM, and that's how I learned. And when I actually went back to it a few months later, and this is going about 5-6 years when I first started playing, my style of uke playing was completely different to what Jerry was teaching. And I think you've got to understand that this is my version of George Formby's split stroke, but it's going to be different to what Jim plays and Tony and Peter and Tony Lister play because they've developed their own style. So it's just my take on it. Okay, so it's just my version how I play this split stroke. So there's no right or wrong method. It is just your own style you develop. So can I just ask, Tony or Jim, would you just like to play a bit of split stroke on yours to show them how it differs?
It'll have to be Tony. I haven't got mine. I don't know which is another Jim, but I haven't got mine with me. Tony will do it.
Yeah, Tony. Tony, listen, you want to do it, and then Tony Thornton, you want to have a go. Okay, thanks, Tony. Tony Thornton, do you want to have a go, Tony?
Have a go.
Yeah, just yeah. Thank you. So it's again great. Well done. Thank you, guys. Different styles, and that's what you've got to remember. This is only my version, and like I say, there's lots of DVDs available at the shop on YouTube we can watch. So what I'm going to show you now is I'm going to try to split the stroke into different parts. Okay. So downstroke. So finger plectrum grip, I'm going to use my index finger. One downstroke, and then I'm going to do the next downstroke. I'm going to catch that bottom string. Again, down, down, up, down. Down, down, catch that string, catch the top string, and down again. Okay, so it's one thing down, the next down, I'm going to go up again, and catch that bottom string. And I'm going to do it, for me, I'm going to use my thumbnail, sorry, but you can use your fingernail as well. It does not matter. It's however you feel best with. So I'm going to catch that string there, and then I'm going to go and try and catch that top string. Now, when I say top string, you can probably catch those 2 top strings. I know some people play all the strings down. But for my style, I'm just going to try and catch that string, that top string, and that string, okay? So it's down, up, and then I finish with a down stroke. Okay, the other thing I'm doing, which there's 3 things you need to listen and pick up on, is finger hold, my index finger, and my thumbnail, or you can play it just with your index finger, but try and support your index finger with your thumb. Okay, 2, when I'm going up, I'm lifting that string off. So I'm just playing a C chord. So when it's going up, I'll demonstrate this, how it differs the sound. If I keep that finger on that chord and do this split stroke. Okay, now I'm going to do the finger lift. Okay, it makes a big difference in that sound. So what we need to do now is go and practice 1 stroke down. That's like the capital letter of our sentence. The next stroke's going to come down, and we're going to catch this. That string, there's the string, and the top string. Okay, guys, this is where you're going to have some time now to practice that. And then late in a few minutes, if people want to show them what we've done, I can go and listen to them and watch them play. So it's your choice. So if you would like to have some time now to have a go at practicing that. Okay, Tony Lister, you get your uke out practice. You need it, mister. I'm only joking, so you know that.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking I wouldn't have known any of that without your help, you know. Yeah.
So just play that. Da, 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 da. That's what the sound is trying to get. And now I know some people, I think on Jack Jones and Jerry's, I think, they actually do the full stroke up. And I don't know how I developed this way, but when you're playing it, you can't pick it out any difference. It's just how I found it easy.
I think Peter will verify this. When the Jack Jones video in particular, he always used to say, "You must do it slowly." In his way,
yeah,
his mannerism, and it couldn't have been any,
right, Jim.
And that was it. And everybody wants to run, and I did it when you want to look at end of book before the beginning of the book. And obviously you don't, but that's what you want to do. And Jack Jones's method, I mean, obviously he was a good player and a good teacher, but he always used to say, "You must do it slowly." And like you said, It's hard to play slow to do that, but it's imperative. As I was learning, you want to rush it, but please don't, anybody.
No,
please don't.
You've got to go slow, because if you do get to the basics, and then like Jim said, you try and rush and try and fit it into a song, you lose it, and it merges into the split stroke, just merges into just rattling a uke. And I've seen some people, Jim, at different branch meetings, and I've seen that, and I always struggled really hard with the split stroke, and I used to do perhaps 1 or 2 bars in the whole song. That's all I could do. And other people were rushing, and because they rushed, merged into one, and there was no distinct sound. And the syncopation.
We all see people play, and sometimes play probably too fast. Whether it's a showing off thing, I don't know. But Alan Southworth, God rest his soul, if you ever watched Alan play, he never rushed a song, and yet he hit all the notes and all the chords, and that was a fantastic way to learn off somebody who never had anything. He had the fancy chords to do, but his songs were always very placid in his way, and How we did it, I don't know, but he just had the technique, and that was it. But he'd obviously practiced a lot.
Oh yeah, it
And
is
you learn
practice.
from watching. You learn from watching people like that. And the secret to anything, yes, it is the practice. But when you watch some of the very good players, they don't go hammering away at the ukulele like it. You know, it's hell on earth. They play in a very steady manner and still get the right sound out. I think that's a good technique. Yeah.
We've got a new member on our lesson, Lewis Clifton. And again, like Jim said, do not rush, take your time and get these strokes, because the syncopation, when you're doing, we need to hear that syncopation. That's what makes the Formby strokes stand out so much. So I'm going to just demonstrate this next part. So far we've done this. We finish that downstroke, and that's like a full stop, because that's actually going to link into our next bit of syncopation. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 lots of this. Okay, I'll do it a bit slower. Sorry, I made a mess of that. I'll do it again. Still windows, okay? Okay, so we use that downstroke. I always compare it to a sentence. Okay, full capital letter at the start and full stop, and that last full stop stroke feeds into your next bit of syncopation or another type of stroke, be it a fan stroke or triple stroke. So would anyone like to show me what you've got so far? It's all right if you're nervous. It doesn't matter. We're all here to learn. If you don't want to, we can move on. But if anyone wants me just to listen and
yeah, I'll try. Rosemary, I'll try.
Could you turn your camera on, Rosemary?
Oh,
I've got
video. Oh,
yes, that's it. Yeah.
that's it.
That's
Okay.
it, yeah. Okay. You move your camera down, Rosemary, so I can see the uke.
Ah.
If you can, and it might. That's a bit better. Yeah.
Can you see it?
I can't see it, but oh, that's better. Yeah. Go and have a go, Rosemary, and I'll listen.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, okay. You've got the Rosemary, you've got the method right, but the thing which is slowing you down is, when I said pluck at the strings, okay, this is what I mean. Just watch how I'm going, to go up. So it's going to go down. When I say that, I am just literally catching the strings with my thumbnail. So I'm not trying to pluck it like the acoustic guitar when you're playing fingerstyle. It's just literally catching those 2 strings.
I've got a plastic I've got this plastic finger
all right,
this thing.
Okay,
shall I take it off?
Can I be honest, Rosemary? I don't know. I've never used one, but I do know exactly where you're coming from, because I had dodgy nails for a long time and they kept breaking.
Yeah.
And I've managed, through the help of my tortoise table, which I've got a UV lamp, I realised that with a UV lamp, it actually increases my nail growth and hair growth. I'm not joking. Jim Makin's looking on the screen, honestly. Yeah. So now I just have a nail. I use just a nail, but in the past I've had a false nail on. And I can glue that on, because otherwise I think with those what you play with the banjo, the plastic things, I think sometimes it'll make it more difficult for you to catch that string, and it is literally just catching it. Okay, Does anyone else want to have a go at playing? Okay, Francis.
I did your last class, your last beginner's class, and I've been doing a little bit of practice, but I feel I haven't got the syncopation right. Would you check it out for me?
Okay.
Just do a little phrase that I've got.
Yeah. Okay. You've got elements of the method of stroke, but what it is, it's this, what you're missing. It's that, it's this.
Put you on full camera. There's something, I know there's something not right.
Yeah. Francis, this is an issue that a lot of players have. Okay, and it's just very, very easy. It's this is what's missing. Downstroke. You're doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is I can see elements of that, but you need to have that. It's that downstroke.
Where does that downstroke come in?
The downstroke, we start off with a downstroke, okay?
Yeah.
You should do it in bar of 4, but I play it, and I don't know how I've developed this, I play over about 8, and my last downstroke, the end one, is actually the first from the next section of split stroke. So, down. But it really, when you get more advanced, okay, when you've got the downstroke with the first stroke going down and the last stroke going down, okay, what you can do then, you can play around and swap the bars around if you wish. So you don't have to have that downstroke after the set of 8 or set of 4. You can play around and add different strokes in. So it really
so is it kind of da 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 da?
It goes, yeah, I'll go do it basic, just hold on. So it's
Right.
yeah. Well,
Down.
Rosemary, sorry, Francis. Sorry, Francis.
Down.
Okay, it's how you position that, because the other thing you can start doing, and that when I'm teaching, it's really difficult because I often try and put another stroke in to flesh it out, okay, which is a triple, and then that is so you can do.
Yeah, I put that one in just now.
Well, anyway, we'll move on. We're jumping a bit ahead of ourselves.
Yeah,
Does anyone
okay.
else want me to listen to them play the split stroke? Lewis Clifton.
Andy, can I just ask a question? Is it a good idea to get four sets of rhythm going before you actually start to change anything?
Yes.
You understand what I mean? Get the rhythm.
Yeah. Sorry, Bernie.
4 or 5 sets, and then try and slip in the finger lift. I mean, I'm struggling getting past the first setup. I maybe can get 2, but then I've lost it. So the practice really needs to be 3 or 4 or 5 even, I think.
Bernie, do you want to just show me what you mean on your uke?
Yeah, hang on. Let's get it right. I'll go off. No.
Again, Bernie, it's the same what I was saying to Francis, it's that, because again, you've got this bit, you've got that. We need to have that. So it's
going in here.
Yeah, it is, and it's listening, because everyone told me about it, and I just thought, oh, this is crazy, this form betraying. But when you start getting that little bit of syncopation, you can actually start hearing it, and it is watching and listening. That's what I found how I've learned.
I think I find difficulty with the continuity.
Yes, yeah. It is. It's the only thing is, the only tip I can give, the secret to George Foreman's strokes is down to 3 things. Can anyone tell me? Claire knows this answer, don't you, Claire? What 3 things do we need? What 3 things do we need? What's the 3 secrets? Tony Lister.
No,
No.
I'm
Francis, give me lines.
Listen.
Okay. What about you, Claire? You tell everyone the 3 secrets.
What 3 things do you need? A
We're
room
not
full of
talking to you.
ukuleles like what you've got.
It's a lesson, lad. I'm sorry. Go on, Claire. What's the 3 secrets? Turn your mic on and tell him what's the 3 secrets for ukulele.
Practice.
That's it, yeah. Just practice.
That's it.
practice,
Yeah, practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's something that Peter Pollard needs to do. Okay. So we have now got a bit of some split stroke. Okay, and I'm looking at the time. I do want to move on to this triple. Now, I was speaking to a player who asked me about the triple and the fan stroke and the shake. And I explained to him, really, those 3 different strokes are very, very similar. And they're all based on 1 stroke, which is a triple. So I'm going to just concentrate on the triple stroke. And this stroke is one I have found really difficult. And it's made up of 3 strokes, apparently. And I think Jack Jones said, keep your hands nice and supple, nice and relaxed. And he's absolutely correct. Okay. What you need is, this is a triple stroke. I'm going to just try and play, and I'm going to try and focus on this hand. I'm just playing on the C chord. Okay, can you hear the triple that? Okay, so this is our triple stroke. So, and this is where I do have to focus on it because I do find it very difficult breaking it down to slow for each part. Okay, so we're going to go down. So when my index finger gets down to this bottom string, doing a normal stroke, okay, my thumb is going to catch that string. Now, what we do not want is this. We want it just nice and gentle. We want it 1, 2. We don't want this. It needs to be joined because this is classed as 1 part, 1 stroke. Just try that. We need a gap between the index finger, but not to the point it's too big. Okay, so it's just. Okay, everyone have a go at that one. So it's down and then just catch that top string with your thumb. You need a bigger gap, Bernie. Watch. So just da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. Okay, so that's the first part of the triple. Okay, that's the first part. So we need it, it's got to have that the right size gap. So it's not 2 strokes like this. It needs to be. Okay, so the next part of the triple, okay, I'm watching Tony Lister, he's put me off now, we're playing. So the next part is this. So we're going to just, again, catch that bottom string and come up. Now I'm catching it with my thumb, but you can catch it with your index finger if you wish. So I'll try and break this down again. You hear that? Dun 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 dun. It's that part of that form betraying starting to develop. So it's down and catch that top string with full. That upstroke. Come on, Suzanne. So it's down and catch that top string and then back up. So it's like 3 different sounds. You have a go now at that, guys. Da dun dun da dun dun da dun dun. Yeah. A lot of the form strokes I found the method and watching people difficult to then transpose out to my uke, but the sound what I could hear the making was a way I learned it. Okay, so we've got da dun dun da dun dun da dun dun. Okay. Now some players, I'll be honest, some players play the split stroke on stage and they don't play any of the strokes, and that's fine. But I always wanted to play at least 2 decent different strokes, and this one I found difficult to master. But it's just, again, it's practice. So I think Ray Bernard, I was told by John Croft, Ray Bernard, when he played uke, he just played triple strokes. Okay, so we've got so far 3 parts. And then our last part is the easiest part, which is a downstroke. So it goes like this. Okay, and that's it. That's a triple. But again, like Jim said, and it's so important, do not try and do any of these strokes quick. Do them slow and do them correct. Now, I spent Sunday afternoons for a month in the conservatory with my Markendale, just practicing. Da 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 dun, da 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 dun, da 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 dun, da 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 dun, and it is. That's all I want. Nice and relaxed. Yeah. So if you want to have a go, if anyone wants me to listen to some
turn sideways, Andy, to demonstrate that. Maybe that would be helpful.
So hold on. Oh yes, that's a good idea. I'll just try and demonstrate it on sideways.
I think it'd be better the other way around so they can see your fingers.
Do you want me to go outside?
Just try it the other way around. That's it. Yeah, just like that, like that.
Okay.
Is the last part an up or down?
Sorry, Eric.
Is the last stroke that you're doing an upstroke or a downstroke?
It's a downstroke on there. Yeah. So it goes. That's the first stroke. Up is your second stroke, and the straight down as your third stroke. That's your triple. Okay.
So like.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, just a bit more. Yeah. What you've got to be careful is if we don't have that gap between this bit here, it merges into it's just. So what we need to do is make sure that we have a gap. Again, the gap can't be too much. It's got to be one stroke. So it's because that all these strokes I'm showing you, it's just catching the strings. Yeah. You can see I'm also doing a finger lift on that upstroke as well to make it more the stroke be more, well, I was going to say translucent, that's the wrong word, make it really stand out more. Okay, so it's okay, guys. Okay, does anyone have a go at playing that, or if it's all right if you don't, I can. Okay, Roger. Okay, you got a really nice rhythm there, Roger, but try and just space that. Yeah, that gap. Yeah, I can see you've got that, you've got the rhythm in the right hand, really is spot on. Just try and get that gap between that finger and that finger. And slow it right down. Yeah, okay, good. Well done. Anyone else? Anyone else?
Me, I'll have a go.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Oh, Rosemary.
No.
It's difficult. You know what Dennis Taylor once told me? Dennis Taylor was a president, and I used to see him at Castleford, and he used to say, form the strokes, it's like doing this. Yeah, touching your head and rolling down your stomach. It is so difficult sometimes. when you've got that, it'll come together really quickly. It's difficult. There's no two ways about it. So it's. Okay. Anyone else?
I'll have a go.
Bernie, go on, mate.
Yeah, I'll have a go.
Okay, Bernie. Was that you, Tony?
Yeah. No, it wasn't. No.
Okay. Go on, Bernie. Okay, Bernie, I can see some, I think you got a lot of it right. I think the thing what you need to work on is this. And just listen. If you just mute your mics, please, guys. Just listen to this train. Okay, I'm going to do it normal speed and I'm going to go really slow, okay? So I'll just slow that down. Okay, so try and really emphasize those that da 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 dun da 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 dun da 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 dun. Okay, Tony Thornton. You know when you were playing, do you want to show people how you do the triple stroke, Tony?
I don't think it sounds just the same way as you do it, but.
You know, Tony, just then you could hear the triple stroke like I say, it's different people's different, styles and interpretations of the triple stroke. But there you could hear that in it. So it just shows you, guys, it is your interpretation of the strokes. And I can show you what bits I've learned. I think on the triple stroke, I watched Jack Jones's DVD, and he kept on saying about relaxed fingers. And immediately when you're learning a new stroke, you tense up to try and get that sound. So it really is just trying to listen. And for me, it was just watching. And again, like Peter said about moving the uke, it's just. Okay. Now, the one thing which people do ask, and I'll explain it now, is that they've learned and the practice all the different strokes. I can do a bit of split stroke, a bit of triple. Then they want to know how it goes into a song. That's why we went back to the start lesson about windows and learn one song. Because if you know one song, you can start impacting that with the different strokes. And how I got some of the split stroke, but I still could not fit a triple in. So I did here's a tip, is I actually start the solo on Windows or any solo with a triple. And when you, even if you do one triple in one song, at the start of the solo, that will give you confidence, and you'll get quicker and quicker and quicker as you play and practice more and more. Okay, and then you can start putting these triples in gaps in your solo. Okay, so it's all practice. That's all there is to it. Has anyone got any more questions before we end our session today?
Yeah. I think the best person. Can you hear me?
No, Tony.
Yes, you can. Yeah. No, I think the best person to listen to for playing the triple is Mike Warren. It's so crisp. I wish I could do it as crisp as that, but yeah.
And obviously, Mike does a DVD which is on sale at the shop for former tuition. It's online, and again, that shows that's one of the. I like that. I've got that myself, and it does show all the strokes. But again, it is down to your own style and your own, way you interpret it. Because, like Tony Thornton just showed, he said he'll play it a different way, but you can still hear that sound, and it is down to your own interpretation how you develop that later on. But the cornerstone is the foundation is that those 3 or 4. Hello, Dave Barnes, you missed it, mate. You missed it. You need this. You need to be in here every session to learn how to play ukulele. You just missed most of it. So.
Yeah, sorry, I've been so busy, but anyway, nice to see all the faces.
Yeah, okay, mate. So it is just practice. Get those sounds. I think Peter's recording it, and hopefully we might be able to release this, Peter.
I'm going to Asda in a minute.
Yeah. Okay, so any more questions before I finish?
Yes, I have a question. Rosemary.
We'll put it on YouTube.
Yeah, okay.
Put it on YouTube. Over this weekend, I'll get it put on YouTube.
Okay, go on, Rosemary.
On the Jack Farnby YouTube channel. I'm sorry, Rosemary. We'll put it on YouTube, and I'll put a web page on with links. It'll be there, and you'll be able to see it on the website. Carry on.
Okay, thank you. Rosemary.
It's actually not, it's about playing the ukulele every evening and from these books. Now, I'm really totally muddled because I start at the beginning and I go to the end, and then we start again. I go to the beginning, go to the end. But actually, we're not always playing all the way through and back to the beginning and back to the end. There's sometimes we start in the middle or end in the middle, or I don't know. I think
that is because you're playing with the Zoomers, and they play like the thrash, which is usually traditionally with the GFS. The thrash is one verse or the opening verse, introduction all the way through, then the solo. And that is the difference between a thrash song and a full song. Because obviously, you look at riding the TT races, it's one verse, then you've got the solo, and that's it. If you look at the full song, there's one verse solo and another verse. So it really depends on how, if you're practicing with the Zoomers, in the thrashes, that's how the songs are set out. A verse, or the introduction of the verse, and then the solo. If you're doing the full song, you just then change it, because you might have to put 2 verses together before you get to the solo. That's all. But what the best way is to learn the full song, Rosemary, and then when you go on to the Zoomers, you know the song, and you can, if it's just one verse, you can just do one verse and the solo, because the solo is usually the verse, isn't it? So it's the same chords and progression.
Yes.
If you can do the full song, the thrash is easy. Well, it's a lot easier, isn't it? Really? That's it.
Thank you.
Any more? Sorry, Rosemary. Any more questions?
I said it's.
Yeah, my dinner's ready.
Looking at
No.
I've got to go because I've got my interview at 5 o'clock.
We're starting at 5.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Any more questions? Quick questions? Okay. I hope you've all learned something today's session. And
thank you.
Thank you for attending.
Well done, Andrew. Well done.
Thanks,
Thank
Andrew.
you.
Thanks, Andrew.
There's always
thank you
something
very
to
much.
learn. There's always something
Yes,
to learn.
Very useful. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for attending. Thank you,
Thank you.
Francis.
Your check's in
Thank
the
you,
post.
Patricia.
Thanks a lot.